Greetings, pen pals. I can't believe it, but another month has come and gone. So you guys, I think, know the drill. For those of you who are new, here's the deal. I will go over each pen I used each day for work for the month of August 2021. These are in no particular theme or anything like that. They just happen to be the pens I use each day for work, general note-taking, managing my to-do list, kind of general work stuff like that. These are not in-depth reviews. Many of these pens, in fact, most of them, in fact, I have in-depth review videos on this channel. So if you want to see more detailed information about the pens or the inks that you see, please feel free to check out those videos. So let's get right into it, starting with the beginning of the month. We had a knockoff pen. This is the B23088, is the knockoff of the Platinum Curidas, which we are going to see in a minute. So this is basically identical to the Platinum Curidas in almost every way, other than the fact that it doesn't take platinum converters. It uses sort of a standard international type converter, but other than that, the mechanism, the build quality, best I can tell, the materials, etc., are an exact knockoff of the Platinum Curidas at approximately 1/5 the price. And for those of you not familiar with the Platinum Curidas, it's a retractable pen. So you click this very long throw button and the nib comes out. There's a little trap door at the end which opens and closes, etc. Check out the video for a lot more details. There's a lot going on with both this pen and the Platinum Curidas. So like we said, this is the B2 3088, and this ink is Seitz Kreuznach Tomato Red. So there you go. And B23088, which is a knockoff of our next pen, which is the Platinum Curidas. So you can see, other than the color, and this is a slightly broader nib, it's pretty much the identical pen. It makes a slightly different sound when you click it. I won't say one's better or worse than the other, it's just different, but other than that, to me, they're virtually identical pens. So this pen is the Platinum Curidas. And this ink is De Atramentis Silver Gray. Platinum Curidas. These are both very nice pens. Again, this is the original one from Japan. This is a Chinese knockoff. This is about 1/5 the price of this. If you have a philosophical problem with knockoff pens, then you probably wouldn't be too crazy about this. But if you just want to sort of get one of these, but don't want to spend 80 bucks or so, this is definitely an option if you want to avail yourself of that. All right, next up, Platinum 78G. This is sort of a classic, inexpensive platinum pen, all plastic. Pretty, I don't want to say cheap, but it's definitely a more inexpensive platinum pen. But like every platinum pen that I've ever owned, it writes fantastically. It has a small little nib. This one is in broad. Really writes great. So this is a Pilot 78G, and this has a steel nib in broad, which is almost very stub-like, actually, if you see that line variation there. And this ink is Pilot Blue Black. Pilot 78G. Great inexpensive pen from Pilot. One of the most inexpensive Pilot pens that I have, in fact. All right, next up is a really cool pen from Moonman. This is a Moonman T2. This has got a very cool filling mechanism. So it's got a spring piston filling mechanism, very much like a Twisby Go, but this is really outstanding build quality on this metal acrylic hefty pen. Really nice nice writing pen. Smooth metal section though, which does definitely turn some people off. Anyway, there we go. So this is a Moonman T2, and this does not have the original nib. I replaced this nib, so this has a Jinhao nib. And this ink is Diamine Cherry Sunburst. Moonman T2. Cool pen. I had a problem with some Moonman number 6 size Moonman nibs. They just weren't writing well. This one was one of them, but I did replace it with the Jinhao nib. But that's not necessarily a wide problem. Not a lot of other people have had it, but I did. All right, next up is a really nice Indian pen from Ranga. This is a Ranga Model 3. This is one of these handmade ebonite pens. This one's very simple in a matte finish, which they call the Bakul finish. Eyedrop filler pen. This has the Indian-made can write nib. There's lots of nib options for these pens, so if you're interested, check out the Ranga website and they will go over all the different options with you. So this is the Ranga Model 3. And this ink is, what is this? Oh, this is diamine. Ancient copper. Ranga Model 3. Very nice pen. Great nibs on these. These Indian can write nibs I've been a big fan of. They write quite well. All right, next up is a really great pen from Platinum. This is the 3776 Century in this burgundy colored finish. Really great pen. This has a 14 karat platinum nib, which in medium, which writes terrific. So this is a Platinum 3776 Century with a 14 karat nib. And this ink is a really great ink that goes with it really well. This ink is J. Herbin Rouge Bourgogne. Platinum 3776 Century. Great pen. Next up is a brand new pen from Twisby. Just hit on the market really a few weeks ago. Twisby Swipe. Crazy kind of filling options. Check out the video that goes with this if you really want all the details about how the different filling options work. On broad strokes, it's a pump piston filler with a spring, but there's also a converter and a cartridge option that all comes with it. So it's a all in all pretty nice pen. Some wacky options though for filling it, and has a steel Twisby nib. Very nice. So this is a Twisby Swipe, and this ink is Twisby Sky Blue. Twisby Swipe. Really nice. Brand new pen, just hit the market. All right, next up is an inexpensive Chinese pen. This is the Handgun 960, but it's got this really pretty orange acrylic. Just writes really nice, and has a nice number 6 nib in two-tone in steel. Nice pen, cartridge converter pen, etc. Got some decent heft to it too. This is the Handgun 960, and this ink is Birmingham. Safety vest. Handgun 960. Nice pen. Really pretty acrylic. Really like the acrylic on this one. All right, next up is a Conklin Mark Twain. So this is a modern pen with a sack filler, which is very unusual, but it's because they wanted to really copy a vintage Conklin pen down to the filling mechanism, etc. This is a crescent filler, which is a type of sack filler. Check out my video with all the detail on this. Rose gold trim, really nice nib, which is not in rose gold, unfortunately, which kind of, I think, ruins the aesthetic a little bit, but it's got this cool crescent shaped breather hole. So this is a Conklin Mark Twain. And this is called a Mark Twain because Mark Twain actually used to appear in Conklin ads back during his lifetime when he was alive. So there is an actual relationship between Conklin Company and Mark Twain. And this ink is J. Herbin L'Edité. Conklin Mark Twain. Really nice pen. Very similar to vintage Conklin pens. Next up is a vintage Pilot pen. This I don't have too many old vintage Pilot pens, but this is one of them. This is from the late 50s, early 60s. This is a Super 150V. It's a cartridge converter pen. It does take modern Pilot cartridges and converters, which is really nice. Has a extra fine nib in 14 karat gold. Writes really nicely. Cool pen. I really always like the clip on this. I think it's kind of cool, kind of retro looking, spring loaded. Very, very nice. So this is a Pilot Super 150V, and this ink's got a 14 karat nib in extra fine, and this ink is Iroshizuku Tsutsuji. Super 150V. Really nice vintage pen from Pilot. All right, next up is another pen from Pilot, not a vintage one. They have made this one for a long time. This is the Pilot Falcon. It's a pretty famous pen. Cartridge converter filled pen with that very, very unique Falcon shaped nib in 14 karat gold. So this is a Pilot Falcon. And this has a 14 karat nib. And this is a soft bouncy nib, not really a flex nib, but you can get some variation there, but I really wouldn't call it a flex nib properly, but it is pretty nice. And this ink is Iroshizuku Yu Yake. Pilot Falcon. Pretty famous and well-known Pilot pen. Next up is another famous, well-known pen. This is from Montblanc. It's a 146. This is the smaller brother, cousin, sister, whatever you want to call it, of the 149. It's the same length. Most people actually think it's shorter. It's not. It's the same length. It is just less girthy, smaller nib. And if you buy... This is a 21st century one, so it has a plastic feed and a 14 karat nib. The older ones would have had an ebonite feed. So this is a Montblanc 146, and this has a 14 karat nib in medium, but you see how broad the Montblanc medium is here. And this ink is Montblanc Irish Green. Great pen, classic piston filling pen, Montblanc 146. Next up is another absolutely fantastic pen. This is my Aurora 88, sterling silver cap. They come in a lot of different materials and stuff. This one has a sterling silver cap and a 14 karat nib, piston filler. Writes really, really beautiful. This is a Aurora 88 with a 14 karat nib in medium. And this ink, of course, is Aurora Black. Aurora 88. Great, great, great pen. Next up is the Pen BBS 355. This was Pen BBS's sort of answer to the Conid bulk filler. I have very little ink in here, so you can't really appreciate the filling mechanism, or maybe that you can appreciate it more. But this is essentially the drawer filler, bulk filler, whatever you want to call it. Holds a lot of ink. This was the first iteration of this pen. They came out with modifications, etc., but this was the first one, and has a nice steel nib in medium. So this is a Pen BBS number 355, and this has a medium steel nib. It's a number 6 nib, very, very nice nib. And this ink is Ackerman. I'm going to call it Ackerman number 28. Ackerman has names and numbers for all the inks. The name is a Dutch word that I cannot pronounce, so I'm not even going to try, but it's Ackerman number 28. Might be one of my favorite greens, actually, of all time. All right, next up is a fairly new pen and a very inexpensive pen, probably Sailor's cheapest. I want to see both cheapest and most inexpensive pen. This is the Sailor Compass. So this is a cartridge converter pen from Sailor. The little handle on the converter is actually tinted yellow to match the pen. So when you buy this in different colorways, you get the little handle on the converter matching the color of the body of the pen, which is kind of nice. But it's a fairly inexpensive pen. Writes really nicely. It has a transparent feed, which in the case of this yellow ink really picks it up really well. So all in all, pretty nice pen. So this is a Sailor Compass, and this ink is a Sailor Studio number 770. Sailor Compass, very, very nice pen, inexpensive pen from Sailor, which usually makes quite pricey pens. Next up is another pen from Pilot. This is the Legno 89S. This is actually quite a small pen. It's a wooden pen. Legno is the Italian word for wood. So it's the Pilot Legno 89S. Has a small little 14 karat nib. It is a cartridge converter pen, but unfortunately you have to use like the Con 40 because it's a small pen. Nice pen, posts well. Obviously would have to post well. It's a pretty small pen. Legno 89S. So this is a Pilot Legno 89S, and this has a 14 karat nib in medium, and this ink is Iroshizuku Jaku. Pilot Legno 89S. Nice pen from Pilot. Next up is a Moonman pen, what my friend Doug Rothbun likes to refer to as a Moonblanc. This is a Moonman F9, which is meant to be a knockoff of the Montblanc pen. That's why he refers to it as a Moonblanc. This is meant to be a knockoff of a Montblanc Rouge et Noir, which is a very, very expensive pen from Montblanc. This is a metal pen. It's got this Moonman logo instead of the Montblanc logo. It's got the snake, which is pretty much identical to the Montblanc pen. This is a captive converter fill mechanism, and it's got the cool snake head on the nib, which makes it look cool. So this is a Moonman F9, and this is ink is Birmingham Gerbera. Moonman F9. Nice pen, writes really, really well. Again, it's not a counterfeit because they clearly don't have a Montblanc logo on here, but it is definitely a knockoff. Very much like the Lambitu was a knockoff of the Platinum pen. Next up is one of the priciest pens that I own. This is the Montblanc Alfred Hitchcock. Big hunk of sterling silver. Gorgeous pen. Really heavy. It's got all sorts of cool little details. I did a full in-depth review of this. It's got this really cool clip that looks like a butcher knife. It's great pen. Piston filler pen from Montblanc with an 18 karat nib that just writes fantastic. So this is a Montblanc Alfred Hitchcock. And this has an 18 karat nib in medium, and this ink is Montblanc Mystery Black. Alright, Montblanc Alfred Hitchcock. Beautiful. Got this cool swirly, hypnotic looking pattern. Just great. Next up is one of the oldest pens that I have, Waterman Model 55. Decently, probably 100 years old, give or take. This has what's called an accommodation clip, which was, it's correct to the period, but this was probably added later or purchased at the same time in the case we have a pen that didn't come with a clip or it lost the clip, etc. So it's a lever filler. It's got the little Waterman Ideal logo branding all over different places, etc. It's made out of blackened chased hard rubber, or BCHR as they say in the fountain pen world, and it has a nice flexible 14 karat nib that writes really well. So this is a Waterman number 55, and this has a 14 karat nib, and yes, you want to see it flex a bit. I will absolutely show you that. Pretty cool. This ink is Waterman absolute brown. Waterman 55 again, great vintage pen with a vintage flexi nib. Last up is sadly from OMAS, which is a company that went out of business a while ago, but this is a fantastic cool pen. It's a piston filling pen, OMAS 360. It's shaped like this cool reload triangle. Really cool pen. 18 karat nib, ebonite feet on this one. Really nice pen. So this is a OMAS 360, and this has an 18 karat nib in medium. And this ink is the only custom blend ink I have. I've mixed this myself. We'll just call this Allen's Yellow. And there you go. That is our videos for the month of August 2021. Hey, if you guys would do me a big favor, if you would all please like, comment, share, and subscribe, that would be all most welcome by me. I sure hope you enjoy watching this video, because I sure enjoyed making it for all you folks. Until we see each other again, have a great day. Bye-bye.